before we get to the actual podcast tonight, I have something I would like to address. So, on August 11th, Blockbuster, you know, that old video rental chain, came back into the news. Because they're doing something where they're gonna rent out a room in the one remaining Blockbuster store, or something like that. I didn't see the full story. Anyways, so, they do a couple of tweets on Twitter, right? And I look on Twitter a lot, you know. It's an interesting place to be, I guess. Some parts are fun, some parts are absolutely garbage, but, you know, the Twitter experience isn't really a bad one. But, you know, if there weren't garbage parts, then every part of the website would just be good, and, you know, that'd be kind of boring after a while. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about the Twitter experience. No. What we're talking about here is the fact that I saw this on the promoted trends list. Take a look at your screen if you've looked away, because I'm putting a picture on the screen right now. So have a look at this. This hashtag was trending, and look at the little caption underneath it. As you can see, the hashtag, which Netflix Film is promoting, is hashtag Project Power. I have no idea what Project Power is. Presumably, it's a Netflix film. Anyways, underneath it, the little caption, Netflix has the blockbusters. And they decide to have this be a promoted trend on the day that Blockbuster is getting some recognition again. So, I would once again just like to say, fuck Netflix. If you listen to this podcast, you should know my opinion on streaming services. I fucking hate them. And, yeah, this opening segment here was just another fuck you to Netflix. So, fuck Netflix, 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 fuck Netflix. Let's get on with the rest of the podcast, shall we?
Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to the Perfect Podcast Show. Tonight, it's an epic adventure. What sights are there to be seen? Take a listen and find out. I'm Jeff the Shark, and I'm secretly a millionaire. I just hide it very well. And now here's your host. It's Pikachu Allspark.
Shouting to the listening, buddy, go! Build it up! Absolutely
nothing. Welcome to the Perfect Podcast Show. I am your host, the king of YouTube, Pikachu Allspark. And this is sort of a travel episode, if you will. You see, the garbage cans in my neighborhood are quite a bit of ways away from my house. About a 10-minute walk. A few seconds if you drive, really. But it got me to thinking, what if I take out the garbage and do a podcast while I do that? So, that's what I'm doing. Now, I'm speaking very quietly here, because it is the middle of the night, and I don't want to disturb anyone, you know. People might find it kind of weird if this guy's just walking down the street, talking into a voice recorder, you know. That's not the most normal thing for anyone to be doing. So, here you are hearing the sounds of the night. Various crickets, other animals. You might even hear some owls, or quite possibly howling from coyotes, because apparently those are around this area. So, hope you all enjoy that. And, So we have a lot to talk about on this episode. As you can hear, a particularly loud bug is making some sort of weird chirp there. I have absolutely no idea what that bug is, but it's making a chirp and whoa. Okay, I know you guys can't see this, but I'm seeing kittens. Multiple little mini cats. Oh, one of them's running away from me. Yeah, there's a house in the neighborhood, and this house has kittens at it. You guys can't see the kittens, but they're fucking small and adorable. It's kind of difficult to see them in the middle of the night too, but yeah, I'm seeing these kittens. Yeah, they're running away. Obviously the kittens were scared of me, and that makes sense because they're kittens. They've not had that much experience in the world yet, so they're kind of scared of everything, Kittens are always scared of unfamiliarity, and that's what I am. But man, I did not know those kittens were around here. And I am walking in front of well, I'm not going to say what it is. Never mind. Anyways, let's get to talking, because we've got a lot to talk about. And a lot to talk about includes myself. Yes, that is right. This past week, the past few weeks, there's some wind. Gonna turn around so I'm not directly facing the wind. I don't want that loud sound to play. And yes, I did just deliberately blow into the microphone to simulate the sound. Anyways, let's get to what I've been trying to talk about for the past few minutes. If all these distractions wouldn't keep getting in the way, this YouTube channel. So the past couple of weeks have been pretty busy for me, and that busyness kind of kicked off in a major way when on July 31st I released episode 116 of the LEGO SpongeBob Adventures. Yes, that is the first full episode of 2020. I did not mean for it to take this long for an episode to come out, and the next episode will be released within this month. I'm aiming for mid-August, possibly. Here comes some more wind again. You'd think there wouldn't be a lot of wind on a hot summer night, but apparently there is. Anyways, yes, this new episode of the LEGO SpongeBob Adventures, this is one of my favorites. I mean, all the newer ones are my favorites because I'm not a big fan of the older ones, the ones from like 2010 to 2015, maybe even a year or two after that. Like, as a YouTuber, I think, once again, I'll say that we like to view our newer content as the best stuff, and older stuff is kind of coming from a person that we really aren't anymore, and it can be viewed as kind of cringe. But I think the newer stuff has been doing pretty good, and so this episode, there's a lot to unpack here. The Search for Patrick, Part 1. This is going to be a two-part episode, as the title implies. And it was all about the gang, trademark, searching for Patrick. So, a few little behind-the-scenes bits of this episode. You'll notice that Mr. Krabs had his Mega Bloks head instead of the Lego one. You see, apparently, some sort of bugs that I will not name, they fucking ate my rubber Mr. Krabs head. I know now that I probably should have been keeping the Lego Mr. Krabs in a freezer bag or something. But it's too late for that now. They fucking destroyed my Mr. Krabs head. And I don't know why Lego made the stupid decision to have Mr. Krabs' head be have Mr. Krabs' head be rubber. But I don't like this decision. Not one bit. It should have been hard plastic. It should have always been hard plastic. And rather than try to get a new Mr. Krabs, which there are a few options. You could look on eBay. People have them pretty cheap on there. You could also get a knockoff from China, but, you know, I don't really trust China anymore. And you can also go and get the full Lego sets in which Mr. Krabs has appeared in, which were the 2006 Krusty Krab set and the 2009 Krusty Krab set. Now, these sets are rather expensive these days, because they are 11 and 14 years old, respectively. And it's very difficult to find a Lego set online of that age. Very difficult, so instead of trying to get a new Mr. Krabs, which would have been a hassle and probably taken weeks, I went with the easier option. I already had the Mega Bloks Mr. Krabs from the band set. Like, there was a figure pack of the SpongeBob characters in a rock band. I unboxed this on my YouTube channel back in 2015. You can go watch the video. I recommend you don't, because again, I consider my 2015 videos to be kind of cringe, but hey, you can go watch it if you want. It's there in the 6-part SpongeBob Mega Bloks unboxing series. And now we've reached the dumpsters. I'm here, and I have to throw this trash bag into them. So let's have ourselves a little look at what's in the dumpsters, shall we? Let's see, I see a Chick-fil-A bag. Actually, that's not a Chick-fil-A bag, that's a Shoe Carnival bag. Oh yeah, Shoe Carnival. It's a store that sells shoes, obviously. A lot of people's dinner things. Oh, there's a Target bag. I like Target. They're a great store. That's where I found the Power Rangers SPD complete series DVD. Oh, there's like a big cooler back here. Huh. Always a lot of interesting stuff to discover at the dumpsters. My hand is starting to hurt. Hold on for a second. Just put the trash bag down. I've been carrying that thing in one hand for like 10 minutes, and it has just been brutal. So, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to take the trash bag, and I'm going to throw it into the dumpster. You're going to hear a loud noise when I do this. It's probably going to disturb all the neighbors. Here we go. Yeah. Huh. You know, that noise wasn't as loud or disturbing as I thought it would be. Oh well. Anyways, yes. This Lego SpongeBob episode, I replaced the Mr. Krabs head. There was the explanation. Anyways, let's get on to some more stuff. You may have noticed that Slender Man was kind of just part of the episode. I've been thinking for a while, you know, this guy as a villain doesn't work out that well, and I kind of want to see what I can do with him interacting with other characters. So, you know, maybe he'll just be someone who hangs around every once in a while, you know. I mean, he's still despised, as you can see, because of the things he's done throughout the years, but yeah, well, we'll see how this thing goes with him. How I do things with him in future episodes. See what works, what doesn't. But for right now, he's, you know, hanging around with the gang. I also featured the Lego ice cream truck set in this episode. I've wanted to feature that set in an episode for a while, and I got around to it. And it's one of my favorite new Lego sets I've gotten. I got the set this year. I filmed the unboxing video back in March, but I've had so many videos on my plate that I didn't get around to posting it till a few weeks ago. And I hope you all enjoyed that unboxing video. I'll certainly be making more unboxing videos in the future. They're one of my favorite things to do, you know. And, yeah. So some more things on this episode. Let's see if I can think of some more. It's, I mean, even with my own stuff, I have just a terrible memory. I'm really the world's youngest old person with my memory. Yikes. Let's see. Yeah, it's genuinely hard to think. Whoa. Alright, I'm seeing another cat. There's a lot of cats in this neighborhood. I don't think this one's a kitten, though. Actually, is that a cat? Hey, are you a cat? Yep, that's a cat. That cat even let me approach it a little before running. Interesting. Anyways, this Lego SpongeBob video, the Crystal King has returned once again. The Crystal King, as you may recall, was the... Oh, there's another cat. Again, cats are just littered throughout this neighborhood. It's great. Anyways, yes, the Crystal King, he was featured in the very first episode of the Lego SpongeBob Adventures. So I thought, hey, it's the 10-year anniversary special. I'll bring him back and we'll see what I can do. So yes, this episode had a return from the Crystal King. I still don't have the original Crystal King set. I've long since lost all the pieces to it, but I have the head. I have the Crystal King's head. So, using the rest of my Legos in my Lego collection, I built a new body for this set. This character in my Lego video, that is, and he's back again. And you'll see the rest of what he does with Patrick and the gang's attempt to save him in part 2 of the search for Patrick, coming exclusively to this YouTube channel, Pikachu Allspark, at some point within the next few weeks. So I think that's most of what I have to say about this episode of the Lego SpongeBob Adventures. I've kind of taken a detour here because I still have a few more things to talk about, so I'm just walking around outside a bit now. Trash is long since been thrown away. So yes, some other stuff that's come out recently. Video game time. I've recently gotten going on the Decepticons series. Played all throughout Autobots, and now we're playing Decepticons, and on the most recent episode, I made some comments during the first mission that might have seemed a bit anti-police. Let me just assure you that they weren't. Again, I'm not like most young people. I don't have a problem with the police. And while I do think that some of the cops out there are doing it for bad reasons, there are some of them out there that just aren't good guys at all. I think the majority of police officers have good intent, They're not all bad guys. I know that opinion there is not the popular one, and not the one that'll get me a lot of subscribers. Heck, saying it probably just got a lot of people to click off my video, but hey, it is what it is. That's what I think. And, I'm just gonna keep thinking that way, I guess. So, right now I've reached a road. I'm staring out into it, and it is totally empty except for a car. Well, the road was totally empty a second ago, but now there's a car running down it, and, I'm just not gonna get spotted. Why don't I want that car seeing me? Well, I'm walking around alone outside, holding a voice recorder, a phone, a crowbar, and a bucket. Like, that's weird. And, I don't want to be seen as, that weirdo walking around outside with a voice recorder, a phone, a crowbar, and a bucket. So, it looks like the car was a truck. And we're just gonna walk away from that road. I hid from the car like a little baby bitch. Now, you might be wondering, why I have a crowbar and a bucket. Well, never mind the bucket, but the crowbar, you see, is a self-defense thing, really. Because, you never know who could be walking around in the middle of the night. You really don't. And one day I realized that, Dollar Tree, they just sell crowbars. You can just go to Dollar Tree and get a crowbar. And so now, whenever I take out the trash in the middle of the night, I take this crowbar with me as a form of self-defense. And it's not a shitty one either. This is a good crowbar. It's metal, it's hard as fuck. This thing could fucking crack a skull. Like, this is just a straight up crowbar. And then they sell them at Dollar Tree. So, this is my self-defense when out alone at night. And of course the bucket, I've got that too. I had a bit of extra trash in the bucket. That's not sure why I didn't say that at the beginning, but here we are. So yeah, now the bucket's just empty. My phone, of course, is because, who doesn't take their phone with them everywhere, right? Everyone's got to take their phone everywhere with them. So you may not be able to tell, but the wind has gotten particularly dickish. I'm kind of walking backwards here, and I don't like doing that. But I don't want to just sit here till the wind's not being a dick anymore. So I don't know what to do here. I really don't. It seems like I've talked for almost 20 minutes. Don't worry, I wanted to go until I got back home, so I'm not just going to turn it off while I'm standing here near the roads. Let's just get back home then. Still backwards walking, the wind's still... I guess the wind's slowing down a bit. Here, let's see if this will work. I put my hand sort of around the mic, so we'll see if that acts as a good cover or not. Anyways, we were talking about the gaming video. Decepticons is going to go on. It's going to be great. And, I got no problem with police officers. No problem with them at all. Anyways, next, another video that I have released recently is the SpongeBob trading cards unboxing video. Yes, this unboxing video was one where I unboxed some SpongeBob trading cards, but not the ones from 2009. No, I unboxed the ones from 2003. That's right, the OG SpongeBob trading cards. This was 4 years into the show's run. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie was set to release just 1 year later, and these trading cards came out. Now, as you may have been able to tell in the video, I had no fucking idea that I was getting, what I actually got. Like, I thought there was a possibility that somebody had opened the cards and just put them back in there. at some point, you know? But that wasn't the case. This was a new, unopened box of 17-year-old SpongeBob cards. This was one of my favorite things to unbox ever. Because I absolutely adore old stuff. If you cannot tell by my love of retro video games and old TV shows like Saved by the Bell and stuff, I'm a big fan of old things. And this certainly... And I'm also a big fan of SpongeBob SquarePants. And something I really like is seeing the older SpongeBob merch. Because the older SpongeBob merch, it has like this... It's got a lot of green in it. And these orange wavy lines. There's usually the Nickelodeon jellyfish and occasionally the Nickelodeon fish. And all the characters are drawn in the show's style on older SpongeBob merch. So, really. And it sort of takes you back to those days, you know. They don't make SpongeBob merch like that anymore. These days the characters are painted, and they use a lot of blue, pink, and purple on the merch, I believe. And it just doesn't have that same feel that the early SpongeBob merch did. And I think I just saw another cat. But anyways, yeah, this newer SpongeBob merch doesn't feel like the older stuff. So when you see the older stuff, you know, you're in for a real treat there. And when you get unopened old SpongeBob merch, oh baby, that is one of the greatest things ever. So I really enjoyed opening this box, taking the cards out, and I know that there are collectors out there who would probably just leave those cards in the box forever, but that's not me. Whenever I get some sort of toy or something, I take it out of the box and I play with it, because that's what a toy is meant to do. And I think trading cards fit the bill of a toy. We're almost at my home. I've had fun doing this podcast, stirring my sort of controversial opinions, talking behind the scenes of Lego SpongeBob, and reporting on cats. So let's talk a bit more about these cards for just a second. Old merchandise from around the 2000s of basically anything. It feels good to hold stuff like that. And it feels good to, you know, relive that period of society life. I mean, it's not like there's anything wrong with the modern day, but yes, there fucking is. There's absolutely something wrong with the modern day. But I guess that's a topic for another podcast. So, yeah, this has been a fun podcast. I hope you'll join me next week. I'll probably be inside my house for the entirety of next week's podcast, not walking around alone in the middle of the night. But hey, I wasn't totally alone, right? You know, saw a few cats. They ran away from me because apparently I'm scary. And, yeah, we had some fun here. So that was this week's episode of The Perfect Podcast Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Pikachu Allspark. You can follow my second channel on YouTube at Pikachu Allspark TV. And until next week, all hail the king.
Would you just